Hey, Chris from the Mighty Decibel here. Welcome back. Well, I was cleaning out the garage a couple of weeks back, and lo and behold, I came across some old scrapbooks of shows that I went to, so ticket stubs and reviews of the concerts dating back to the late 70s. And as I was reading them, I thought, hey, that's not a bad idea. Why don't I start a series of just, reviewing some of the old gigs that I saw. And specifically, what I'm going to do is look at it from a band perspective. So in this case, I'm going to be, reflecting back on three shows that I saw of AC/DC in the 80s and 90s. So the first time I saw them was on July 28th, 1980. So this was just 3 days after the issuance of Back in Black, and I'm pretty sure, if memory serves, that we hadn't even got the album yet. We'd only heard the album once on in full on the Mighty Q107, which was Toronto's best records radio station at the time. So we obviously bought our tickets ahead of time. We were in row Y, seats 21 and 22. And the ticket prices, hilariously, were $9.50. So anyway, the terrible opening act, Streetheart, was there, but they're very much ignorable. They were booed by the fans, quite rightly. But anyway, we rushed the stage, and we were waiting for the band to come on, and then of course the bell comes down to open the show, and then some roadie comes out with a hammer and starts hitting it. But lo and behold, he picks up the mic afterwards. It was Brian Johnson. So this is back in the day when there was no internet. We had no clue what the singer looked like, and lo and behold, there he was. So when I reflect back on the Back in Black tour at Maple Leaf Gardens, the first thing that comes to my mind is how violent it was. It was definitely the most violent concert I've ever been to, and I've been to some humdingers like Slayer Live in the early days that was totally crazy. But this was just all-out violence. A good example of it was caught actually by one of the reviewers here. I'm going to quote them saying, "The force behind each new tune would send a whole new group shoving and jumping toward the front, and within 30 seconds, arms could be seen going sideways and down towards faces and stomachs, among all the clenched fists pumping upwards in time. It was ugly to the third power, and you couldn't have offered me Lord Thompson's holdings and hereditary peerage to swim into the middle of it." So, as I said, I was at the front, at the lip of the stage. And I can tell you, it was like that. It was every song, it was just waves of violence, of fights going on, and everybody else seemed to be 6'2" and a biker. So yeah, it was not the place you wanted to be. So while all the reviewers nailed it on the violence, that I have 3 reviews of that show here, some missed the mark on the quality of the concert, as usual, talking down to us lowly metalheads. So one of them said, "A crowd that doesn't really care what shape or direction so long as it's loud." And another one said, "Show was little more than a constant barrage of fairly simple riffs repeated over and over again." And one went as far to say that cut these people loose without an outlet for their bloodlust, and they might do to the city what they did to Maple Leaf Gardens last night. The critics didn't seem to like it too much. So then the next time I saw him was the following year on the For Those About to Rock tour. Same venue, Maple Leaf Gardens, but this time we were in the Reds. The biggest memory I have of that one is a very young, very pretty girl who I hadn't met before the show was sitting beside me, and she decided that during some parts of the show to sit on my lap to get a better vantage of the stage. Right by me. But one of the things I remember of this show, unlike the Back in Black, which was the violence, this one there was a problem because between every song there was long lulls where the band would not leave the stage, but there would be like a minute, 2 minutes between songs. There's nobody talking to the crowd. So it really dulled the atmosphere. I distinctly remember that. And as usual, the press badmouthed them. Here's some quotes here: vile, venal, assaultive, exploitative, sexist, derivative, brutal, and stupefying. And another one said, asked what the sickening thud sound was reverberating through the garden's front lobby during the show, a police officer figured that this building is falling apart. Unfortunately, I missed the subsequent flick of the switch and fly on the walls tours as I was away at university. I definitely would have still seen the band. So the next time I saw them actually was in 1996 on the Ballbreaker tour at the much larger Skydome venue that holds, like 55, 60,000, but they played it sideways, so it was a sellout for that sort of construction. I think there was 30,000 in attendance. But Gone was the bare bones stage set. Yeah, sure, they had a bell and cannons for the two previous ones, but this was a much bigger stage set that they had here. The huge wrecking ball center stage, all that stuff. Obviously made because they're playing bigger venues, so it had to be bigger. So the other thing that caught me here was additionally rock critics at that point were catching up and liking the band, so much so that one of them proclaimed AC/DC to be one of the premier stadium rock acts on the planet. So when I think back on the three concerts that I saw in 80, 81, and 96, definitely the first one was the best one. The major reason being there that to me it felt like a club gig. Jammed in tight. There was nothing but the band on stage, and the band played directly to the kids, us out there. There was a connection, and it was loud, it was sweaty, it was heavy ass and violent. And then even in 81, you could see the downturn there. They still had the bare bones set, but there was the connection to the fans seemed to be going down. And then, of course, by 1996, with the bigger stage set, there wasn't any danger anymore. This was mainstream, so things had changed. Anyway, that's my feelings on AC/DC in the 80s and 90s, and it really hasn't changed now. They're very good on stage. They're entertaining. I still I see them on videos all the time, and they put on a good show. But trust me, in the 80s and even in the 70s, from what I've seen, this was a bloodthirsty band. Now they're just an entertaining band. Anyway, thanks for joining, and remember to check in to our website, www.themightydecibel.com, where you can find links to our Monday issues of a new release Mondays. Then, on Tuesdays, we have our In 40 Minutes. We have album and concert reviews on Wednesdays, and then Thursdays is our best of top 10s. So thanks again for joining, and keep care. Bye.